if you've ever started your run super excited, high in life, only to be like slowed down with some sort of side cramp or side stitch. Well, you are not alone. That pain in around your side, sometimes it's viewed as some sort of irritant in the abdominal cavity, and sometimes it's viewed as a spasm of your diaphragm. I perhaps view it more on that side as a muscular mechanical thing. And when it's muscular-mechanical, the good news is that we can control that a lot ourselves and have some really good fixes in store. And this is exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about how we can breathe and run in a pattern that prevents those spasms from happening in the first place. Then we're going to work on how we can address our soft tissue, all the musculature that affects our breathing, how we can open that up, smooth that out, and make that a thing of the past. And that's why I'm running with this ball right here. So we have to accept the fact that we are not always very good breathers. We are not super aware of how we breathe throughout the day, and as a result, we only breathe more shallowly into our chest and our shoulders, and we don't breathe very well into our stomach. And that therein lies the problem, because when I don't breathe deeply into my belly and my stomach, I'm not adequately using my diaphragm. And when I'm not adequately using my diaphragm, my breathing becomes a little bit more erratic and very spastic. And I couple that, if I'm a new runner and I just start running, you know, faster for the first time, I go out the gates a little hot, all of a sudden I really get into trouble. So what I want to do is start to breathe more deeply and intentionally. And before I even start to run, I could take 10 deep breaths in through my nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose. And you can use this ball as a visual. As I breathe, you can see this belly expand. Really, really important. As I start to run, I want to start to think about that same level of breathing. So I want to breathe in through my nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose. And what I want you to do is to really count how many steps you're inhaling and how many steps you're exhaling. And just by counting and drawing some awareness there, you're gonna make a huge difference. A lot of us, when we breathe, it's really shallow. So it's like breathing every 2 steps. What I want you to try when you start is, hey, can I breathe in for 4 or 5 steps? What that allows me to do, I'm a little bit more engaged and aware here. I'm breathing deeper into that diaphragm. It's not nearly as spastic, and it fixes a lot of my breathing issues. So that's step number 1. The other thing we want to be aware of is that it's not just the diaphragm that controls my breathing, it's my abdominals, my intercostals, this whole setup here, just like my quads, my hamstrings. It gets tight, it gets a little stiff, and that's where we get a little mobility work in too. Don't mind me, I got out running to start filming this video. I forgot my net, but I'm just gonna do this on the little pavement right here. I have my ball, and I like something that's a little bit larger than a lacrosse ball and a little softer. This is from Yoga Tune-Up, but you could literally use a foam roller to do this, or really anything you got. But what we're gonna work on is just rolling out through our belly a little bit. And I'm just gonna start just below my rib cage and just gonna work down to the front of my pelvis. And I'm just gonna work side to side. And we're just gonna get through a lot of layers of stuff. Like your obliques are here. As I said, your abdominals are here. You can even get deeper into your psoas. And all these things impact your ability to breathe smooth. So I'm just gonna start with this right here. And I'm just gonna breathe. And it's a little hard to see, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna inhale into the ball, and I'm gonna exhale, and I'm gonna relax. And I'm gonna inhale and relax. And I'm just gonna find different areas. It's kind of mellowing me out a little bit. So I just want to spend a little time, and if I've got a particularly tight spot, I want to live there a little bit. and then move on and shift side to side. And of course, I can get up and then I can work on doing the other side through here. And with most mobility things, 2 minutes, 3 minutes is a good dose to start. You know, shifting a little bit side to side and doing this when you do your other mobility things. So spending time on the end of the day, this is a great thing to do. It feels really, really wonderful. Of course, you're not going to do this in the middle of your run if you need a little bit of a fix there, but that is a really key thing. Now, in addition to your breathing and mobility, that's super important. There are some other things that can just make this thing go a little bit easier. Running is high impact. It's literally jostles the body, and you can say that literally the organs inside your body are jostling around a little bit. It's why runners see more side stitches and side cramps than other athletes do in other sports. You know, it doesn't happen as often at biking. You know, might happen with swimming a little bit, especially if you've eaten a big meal right before you try to swim. But that goes the same thing here. You know, not having a bunch of stuff jostling around in your stomach. When you start to run more, all that blood leaves your small intestine and your stomach to go into your musculature to power your arms and your legs, which means that there's less blood to digest things. So sometimes that can cause some upset stomach and some irritability, but we're going in a different direction than side stitches themselves. Now, if you want to get more of these 5-minute fixes, I've got another great one playing right over my shoulder, right over here, on dealing with heavy feet. You better believe all this stuff is connected. Breathing, not breathing in a very connected way, how you land, it's all one part of the same story. So even just by improving some of those things in that video, that makes a really big difference right there. And of course, you should definitely download our app because we've got great workouts on strength, mobility, and mechanics, all these things to make you a better runner. Because I gotta go to run home and get some breakfast. I will see you in the next video. And oh, last thing, thank you, Brooks, for all this great stuff. If you like the t-shirt, shorts, you like these shoes, you can go ahead and shop them down in the link below.